I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready? Right.
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Okay.
Fuck it.
We're barely doing it live, ladies and gentlemen. I am exhausted. Oh my God. Shout out to everyone who's tuning in. AB, Crypto City, Memories with Mike, D. Fuentes. Smack the like button. Oh man, I got my coffee. I was up last night howling at the blood moon. If you missed that one, go check it out. It was hilarious. I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning streaming on the East Coast. Today we are going to be doing a little something different, or adding to. We're going to be coding a little bit today in Pinescript live. Crypto City said I was surprised to see that 2 a.m. live. Yeah, that's really what time I'm normally up, working and stuff. Preparing for the next day, but yeah, did the live. Did the Eclipse live. It was a nothing burger. Memories with Mike. It was the moon was very small in the sky. Unlike previous moons. That's right. Let's get those lives up, ladies and gents. Who else we got in the building? Let's get those likes up. I did place 2 trades last night. If you caught, if you were on the live stream, you'll be up big time right now. Before I went to sleep, I closed most of both of them. I do have a little bit lingering. Let me show you guys really quickly. Still got this Bitcoin one open, up 70%. But that, man, I should have kept it open, but I was going to sleep. Wasn't too sure. Wanted to lock in some of those gains, so we're able to lock in about no, that's not it. Let me see here. Oh, those are all the trades. each actual trade. Where's the maybe transaction? No, that couldn't be right. I gotta find what is this orders thing? Market prices, sale. Oh, that's a stop loss. But where's my actual? This is where I went long last night on Bitcoin. BYD DeFi. Check us out. There's a free trading room you can join, powered by BYD DeFi, where I'm in there like swimwear. But I went long last night at like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, one of the two, and that bad boy just went crazy. But I thought I had more. This doesn't make sense to me. Average that I only made $17 on that trade last night from Ethereum. Couldn't be, because my balance was like under 14K. I was at maybe let's close this. Let's see where we are. So it says I made 200 on the Bitcoin trade and only $17 on the Ethereum trade. Doesn't seem right. I don't know what's going on there, because my balance was like maybe 14.8, so that's what, $300. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the Ethereum trade. That's not looking right. At any rate, we'll figure it out. Today we're going to be potentially trading, but I was going to try to take that moon phase script and make it into an actual trading strategy. I traded on BYD DeFi last night. I did show my trades from WEX. I did trade a couple of days ago and made some good profits there. Trade Intuition in the building. I think he's streaming at noon today. I won't be done by then. I will not be done, guys. Hit that like button as you guys come on in. Let's look at some of the trades from today. What are we looking like? Let's see. Trade Intuition, we end up going up. Bloodalytics was right. Bloodalytics was right, my friend. So we went long here. Or was it here? Where do we go long? Today is Friday. So I had the wrong. Went long here and rode it all the way up. And toggled back and forth, tried to go short, then went long again, then went short, then went long again. But of course, I didn't catch any of that. Unfortunately, did not catch those trades because I'm just coming out of the darn ground, man. Similar setup with Ethereum. Let's take a look at the macro chart, which is ironically enough, this was the moon phase last night, the blood moon this morning. We're running into that trend line, the downward trend line I said possibly could happen. There is some confluence. So we got the trend line and that same channel from way back all the way up here. Back into that channel zone. So there's confluence there. So you will run into some resistance in this region, and most likely because of those 2-3 things that line up as well. But I think you're going to get a rejection either in this zone right here, or it may overshoot up to the top of this channel. Now, if we break this channel, that's very strong bullish signal for us. Very strong bullish signal. So let's see if we can let's see. FD told me to go all in on ETH, so I did. 200K, 200X. Anyone else getting ads midstream? What's causing the soul rip today? I don't know how much soul is up today, but I think it's just all technicals. I had a feeling that we would potentially run up to this region. I said it last night, said we could, and I drew this last night. I literally drew this line last night saying we could run up here and roll over afterwards. Unless we got some fundamental news, which I don't think anything positive will make it really move like that. I think we're just basically running off of technicals now. Technical analysis from the markets and traders just doing that, But I would personally be fading this rally if you were long now. And if you had balls of steel, you could be shorting at this point. But, not my strategy as far as looking at it. Just looking at eyeballing it. I wouldn't short here. I would just be selling here if I was long into this region, this whole zone here. Yeah, probably a short squeeze. Anything for clicks. I was going to pull up CoinGecko to see exactly how much everything is up today. We are still under 3 trillion at 2.8. Bitcoin up 5% today. That's pretty in 24 hours at least. Sol is up 7%. All we really got to do is go look at, you know what? I told you, the NASDAQ. And what do you know? What do you know? NASDAQ up 2.5%, which is a huge move for equity. So again, I tell everyone, you know, who watches me, you gotta watch the NASDAQ. 9 times out of 10 at this point, Wall Street is taking over crypto. So, you know, any real moves is going to be tied to whether or not equities are doing well. This is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But it, you know, stock market, he said, why short? Stock market is rallying. But that's listen, nothing goes down in a straight line. You're going to have counter trend moves on the way down, counter trend moves on the way up. It's had its worst week in 2 years. So you're going to get a counter trend relief rally. That's really the only reason, bro. When you still have stuff like this happening, consumer sentiment slumps in March to lowest since 2022. Stock market loses 5 trillion in value in 3 weeks. Yeah, bro, you're gonna have some bounces. You're going to have some bounces. Again, you would have enjoyed these trades from last night. If you were part of the Bloodalytics scalping system. Scan that QR code. Join up with the squad. I've got swing trading as well. But this takes you straight to the scalping. You want to know more information, go to bloodalytics.com or scan the QR code you see on the screen right there. That's funny. Tone Zone says, all blessings. Gotta be a green weekend for St. Patty's, right? Hey, shout out to all my Irish people out there with that Irish pride. Like Trump says, Trump just signed an Irish executive order. I don't even know what, like, how the hell what that's about. Let's look at Trump before we get into the actual coding today. Let's see what Trump's Irish EO was. Let's see. Trump signed a proclamation on Thursday declaring March Irish American Heritage Month. All right, there you go. Black folk got February. Irish got March. We're going to run out of months to celebrate all these people. What we gonna do? Thought I saw something about that. All right, again, we are live. We are running into, as you can see on the screen, running into a pullback on the 1 hour. Let's bring up the 13, see more detailed on what's going on here. 13-minute chart bouncing right off of Crypto Blood's line. What are the scalpers doing? Pullback happening right now as we live stream. All right, so what we were going to do today was try to code. I might not be able to finish, but we're going to start the coding for this moon phases script. I told you guys we would attempt to, but I think I've done it before and ran into repainting issues with this indicator. Not too sure, can't remember. I know I played with it for sure in the past, so we shall see. So first thing I want to do, just close my long at 85.9. There you go, Tone. Good job, good job. Good job, Larry. All right, so let's go ahead and so what we're gonna do is, this is the moon phases indicator. You just go on to the indicators area, moon phases. It's looks like it might be a trading view indicator. That's the one I'm using. I see other. Let's look at this one. Oh, they already have one that trades, I see. Full moon. Let's get this out the way. Let's get all this other stuff out the way. But see, this doesn't make any sense. Why is it closing order short and then going long? Closing order long and then going short. Oh, I see how they're doing it. I usually just, when I code my stuff, I just swap. I just go the opposite direction, and I make sure I compensate for however much is open currently and just open the opposite. let's see here. And you also might actually, you know why we get the rally today? It might be because of the moon cycle, moon phase, because it started this morning, and you see it's bouncing literally right off of the new moon phase. But some people were saying trade the 1 day.
It's crypto blood, Detroit flow, streaming from the D, knowing what to show, indicators are wrong point, OG since 12, invested in trade, living life like a pro, I'm rubber, Jerry, it's just bloods do, bad motherfucker in a good way, boo, got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep, get that money, gotta keep it creep, that's my crypto blood, twist the toasters on the line,
so
got the market on my mind, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too, cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger.
Let's take a look at what they got here. So from what I'm seeing, and we'll still do it just because, but this is on the daily, which gives you a lot more historical data. The higher you go in your time frames, you get more data. You can do deep back testing on lower time frames, like you know, whatever, 5 minute, 1 minute. You can do deep back testing to see more data, but this gives you like the list of trades here to show you. First trade was all the way back in 2013 of April. So we're talking about over 10 years, 12 years of trades. And the profitability is not good. Not good. Now, what I'm interested to see, new man. Okay, all right. So let me see. Initial capital, 100,000. What I usually like to do is match it 1-to-1 when I'm making an algo. Just that. So matching it 1-to-1 doesn't do any leverage. It's just literally dollar for dollar for your trades. And I'll show you my algos. They're all dollar for dollar, so there's no fluff on it. It's not like initial $100,000 capital, but your trade size is $4 or $5 or $1 million, right? Per trade. It's gonna make your total P&L look way better, percentage wise. No, I do dollar for dollar. They don't have any commission in here. Gotta have commission. I think it's roughly 0.00034% per trade. Yeah, so you would be down negative 388%. Round of applause. If you follow the moon chart on the daily. Now remember last night, hope those that are watching today that's coming in or sees this later. Remember we were talking about people were saying on the daily. Well, we just looked at it on the daily. Let's go to the hour. Hour seemed to be a little bit better. Hour seems to be a lot better, actually. Dollar for dollar. First trade, 2022. So 3 years ago. You would just be underperforming Bitcoin. That's another reason why I do dollar for dollar, because it shows you performance based, like mapping it against whatever asset you have this indicator on, right? So this shows you that you literally would have just been damn near better holding Bitcoin, because it's, you see the blue line is going to be your equity. That's going to be whatever asset you have on the chart. And then equity, the green area, shaded area, is your account balance based on 100,000. So you both start with $100,000. You go to performance. You can see buy and hold would have been 80K. If you would have just bought $100,000 worth of Bitcoin 3 years ago, you'll be up 80%, right? You'll be up 80,000. And if you would have traded this, you would have been up 78,000. So you would have been down $2,000. Actually, that's how it works. That's why I do dollar for dollar, to really map up what exactly is going on with the system. Not bad though, better than what I thought. Definitely better than what I would have thought. So if you're going to do it, it just doesn't make sense looking at the data here. But if you were going to do it, it would be the hour. It would be the hour is the time frame you want to use. But again, you're not beating buy and hold. So it really is a wash. You're just giving money to the exchange. Because this is with commission, right? I put commission in there. I did it at 0.0034, which I think is the right amount. Let's see. I'm sorry, it's 0.0334. So I'm off, but it doesn't trade that much, so it shouldn't affect it too much. Let's see here. Yeah, so $72,000 versus buy and hold, which would have given you 80,000. So you're down 8,000 by trading the moon phases on the 1 hour. Now, you know, this is just an approximate, but I will say it is more accurate the higher the time frame you go. So an hour chart with any indicator on TradingView does pretty well, gives you a pretty good indication. The lower you go, it gets funky a little bit more. You gotta base it on the most, like, towards the middle and right side of the chart more so, to know how well it's doing. I don't really trust their back testing, deep back testing even, all that much on the lower time frames, but on the higher time frames, maybe. But I will say, you know, you get a little bit more consistent data the higher you go on the time frames. So, you know, I don't know. I don't, it's not a good trading strategy, because you literally would be better off holding Bitcoin. And as of late, let's see where it started going lower. As of May of 2024 is when it all started going bad. And it's crazy because I think I had waters above on in that time frame of May. So it was looking good and working very well up until May. Then we started getting the breakdown. Bitcoin started moving counter trend to the moon phases for whatever reason. What does that mean? Maybe we can decode something from that. I don't know. Very interesting, right? All right, so let's I guess we could just code it just for practice, right? Let me go back. And when I get done with it, I'll publish it like they did. I'll make it a public strategy. Share with you guys for shits and giggles. Now mine will have, when I code, I have like pivot areas where it will go the opposite way if it goes against our trade, and you can change the levels for that. It's almost like a stop loss, but it's, you know, it triggers another the opposite or reversal of that order. So we should get different results because I have take profits and all of that in my strategies. So these don't. This is just literally when the moon phase changes, it swaps and goes the other direction. It doesn't take profit on the way up. Like this here. This really is almost this is a martingale strategy. So it's even worse because there's no stop loss or no reversal point in this moon phase strategy. These are the types of things that yeah, this is not a good strategy because it's not a realistic one. So you're telling me I was supposed to hold this short? Let's get our music back up. I was supposed to hold this short. This short right here, I was supposed to hold in the negative 7%. What if it just would have kept going up until the next moon phase? I would have, you know what I mean? Like, you can't have a trade where you have basically unlimited risk. Not a good strategy. So this is even worse than what I initially thought. This is not a realistic strategy, guys. This is how you got to look at things. At any rate, let's get into the weeds for today. We'll maybe go for an hour, possibly. Let's see if we got any trades we can open up really quickly. First. No, I don't have any trades I can open up, really. Let's see what we got going on the swing trading side. Bloodalytics swing trades. We went long on Solana this morning. At 10 a.m. But did we close it? No, we just been taking profits. Yeah, here you go. So Solana, we've taken this is on not BYDFi. The algo trades over on Blowfin, the swing trading algo. So here are the trades from the swing trading. So the Solana trade, we're up 45%. We've been taking profit, nibbling off of that. As you can see, that's what we've locked in, $156. We've locked in profits so far on that trade, which is this trade right here. That trade right there. BNB. We went long, took some profits up here. About $18 worth. One take profit on BNB, up about 5%. Tron, I told you guys all the time, Tron will counter cyclical your ass all day. Pause, no diddy. Tron, short, up 22%. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, let's go back to Tron. Tron right here. Yeah, we've taken a few take profits on this short. We went short on Tron at 3 a.m. this morning. Near, killing it on near. Up 361. We've been holding this near trade for a few days and milking it too. Up 361%. Near, let's see, we're near right here. We went long on Monday, so we've been holding this one for all week. 5-day hold on this one. The thing with near is the algo with near, you'll get periods where you'll get this toggle. It'll do this wild stuff. So you gotta keep the trades fairly low, because this stuff right here, if you over trade it or over leverage it, these right here will really draw your account down. For some reason, sometimes it gets into those periods. Like here's another one over here. What was that? February, end of February. It was just doing that, right? So you gotta watch out for that. This little area right here, not these, because these end up like being able to make some money off the ups and downs. But it's this area here where it'll draw your account down. You just gotta be careful with that. Oh, you don't even see it. So this area, I'm sorry. This area, this was on March 25th. We went back and forth, back and forth. That was a decent drawdown. There was another one back here on February 25th as well. Just goes back and forth, back and forth. And then finally breaks out. But when you have with near, when you get a move, it is a move. It will do 5, 6, 7, 800% at 50x easily. What about paying for live market data for the smaller time frames on TradingView? I mean, I have the top tier account on TradingView, and live data. You get live data on crypto. It's the historical data that I, when you start doing deep back testing and stuff, I don't trust the historical fully, because if you just look at like how the algos maybe perform way back and then they do much better in the nearer future, lets me know that it's not, the data resolution isn't all great there. Tone says go short Bitcoin at 84.5. Stop loss at, I was going to say stop loss can't be below. All right, so you take profit at 83K. Let's see what Tone is talking about. And we still have not gotten into. Let's do a refresh. I promise you guys, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. 84. Well, we're way past 84.5, at least on Bitfinex. That was last candle, last month, last hour. Oh, you said 84.5, or I think you may have said 84.5, and I'm just reading it. 84.5, right? You said 84.5. So 84.5 right here with a profit target of 83K. Okay. Look at what Bitcoin is doing. Right on the line. Run into resistance, just like I said. Let's see if it can hold, though. Bears are dead. No. Bulls came back alive just to be deleted. I don't want to say the wrong word. Re-deleted. All right, so let's try this moon phase thing. So we're gonna take the Telegram one, or Trading View one, I mean. And we're going to create a working copy like that. Oh, this is version 6. I don't code in V6 yet. I don't know if there are any significant differences. I hope not. So from what, I was observing from this code last night, right? So here are some variables that are just color variables. Input color, which is going to show up when you open the, well, it's not a strategy, but when you open up the settings, you'll see these two variables. That's what the input color variable is. So it gives you a RBG or RGB or whatever it is setting, right, for those variables. So those are the variables for waxing and waning. No problem. They do some funky calculus stuff here on the day of year function. Get Unix time from Julian day calendar. Some more calculus stuff. So these are all just functions. I don't really care about all that. They do the heavy lifting on that. My output, though, at the bottom is where we can take over from there as far as the strategy, right? So speaking of strategy, we need to, this is set up as an indicator. We want to change this to a strategy. Actually, let me do this. Let me just copy it from my current one. Like this, we'll call this and we're gonna go do I guess I gotta keep it at 6 because they might be using some things from version 6. So let's save and just make sure this works before I go any further. Okay, add to chart. All right, so we're good. No errors. We can continue coding. So at this point, the selling is over for now. Alts got slaughtered already. 92K incoming. Nah, bruh. We gotta. If we go to 92K, we're back on. In my opinion, we will be technically back into a bull market. I don't see us going to 92K, bro. I don't see us getting through all of this resistance here. Could be wrong though. Definitely been wrong in the past. So all right, so now we have basically converted this over to a strategy which allows us to make trades on the chart instead of just having drawings with an indicator. So again, the meat and potatoes of this is down here. This is your binary output. New moon, the moon type variable is either a +1. If it's a full moon type variable, -1. That's the binary output. That's all we need to get busy, because that lets us know where we need to go long and where we need to go short. All right. So we're going to call this, just for reference, this is going to be a buy signal. And then this is going to be our sell signal, because I was just looking at sell signal for these two. Actually, let me do it like this so I can actually see it in the pane. So that's your buy signal, that's your sell signal. Just commenting that area, right? So now simply we could just basically let's construct an order. Let's construct an order and we'll build on it. So what you want to probably do, all right, so let's do, all right, let's do this really quick. Let's do this. Trading code. And I'm not going to like get into the weeds of properly setting up functions and all of that, because we're just doing this live. That takes a lot more time to, and I can refactor later. So I'll just do trading logic. So we'll do if moon type -1. Add our parentheses, our brackets, I mean, if moon type 1 else if Moon type +2 or +1. Will sell. So when you convert your script to a strategy like that, you can use actual trading. This is the function that initiates a trade on the chart, right? So strategy.entry is the method under the strategy function. You can use this entry method to initiate it creates a new order on the chart. So let's see something. Let's see what we got. Update chart. Let me just double check and see if in V6 they do something different for. Let me see something if I can do V5 update chart. Let me see something. Okay, so it does allow me to do this in V5. See, I haven't coded in V6 yet. So I think the way you initiate trades is a little different than V6, version 6 of Pinescript. All right, so I changed it to V5, and now the orders show up on the chart. As you guys can see, we have a buy where it's supposed to be a buy. We have a sell where it's supposed to be a sell. We have a buy where it's supposed to be a buy. So it lines up perfectly, right? Round of applause. That simple. Now let's take a look. This is on the 1 hour. And I told you guys I do by default order sizes around 1-to-1. We can just make it 1-to-1. 4,000 initial capital, 4,000 per trade. Commission, that's roughly where commission would be on any modern crypto exchange right now. So there you have it. However, as I stated, I like to have, creating a strategy that just literally is open-ended, no stop loss, no reversal areas or anything like that. Not a good look. Not a good look. So we're going to add some stop losses into our trades. So it gives us at least some protection. So since we got the trades out of the way, we'll call these entry triggers. So let's set up the stop losses now.
Yo, it's crypto blood, Detroit flow, screaming from the D, knowing what the
Stop loss.
OG since 12, investing in trade, living life like a pro.
Logic.
It's just blood too. bad motherfucker in a good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Get that money, gotta keep it creep. This my crypto blood, used to toasters on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market.
If any of you watching this right now ever needs or think you got a strategy you want programmed in Pinescript, hit me up. Might be able to consult with you on that. Let's see. No, let's just do one. It's gonna cost you though. My hourly rate is about $300 an hour, so don't come in with no bullshit. A round of applause. All right, so we got stop loss logic, comments, and section ready to go. So in order to do a stop loss, you're going to, we got to basically, we have to, so you got to have a reference point, right? You got to have a reference point for where you entered your trade. And then you can do percentages from there. Like percentages away for your stop loss, right? So how you do that, we got to figure out trying to think how I can set this up. So I need to make a variable basically for that stores our entry point. All right, so let's do that. So in order to do that, what you want to do is let me see here. I'm just responding to this message really quickly, guys. 1 second. It's the rundown.
It's the rundown. Everything you need to know. It's the rundown. Everything you need for show. It's the rundown. And I ain't even capping on this. Crypto blood covering every topic on this. Welcome to the show. Who didn't let me go? Breaking down the facts. There's more you need to know. Crypto politics and culture always keep it real.
All right. So, all right.
Showing you how I feel. Staying forward with me, and I break it down with ease. Every single day, bringing expertise, current events and trends, I analyze with care. Knowledge is the power that we all can share. Yeah, y'all hit that like button, share the stream, enjoy the.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get this set up. So basically, what we have to do here at this point is set up our entry points. We got to set up a variable that will hold our entry points for that particular trade. So it would be something like, because it's going to be a float. It should be a float because the price is going to be a float. It's not going to be an integer. I don't think they do long float in Pinescript. It's just either a float or an int or a string, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I think. Yeah, they don't do long floats, so it'll just be a float. So we're gonna set a variable called float entry price long, and the reason we're gonna set this to NA. The reason we're setting it to NA is because when you initiate the variable, you want it to be empty, and you don't want to, because you don't know what the actual price of the entry is, and so every time it cycles through, it won't reset it to a new price. So if it starts out no entry, it stays that way as it cycles through the script, because every tick, how Pinescript works is every tick you have on the chart basically runs this script. So it just cycles through the script. Every tick up or down on the chart, it just runs this script. So we want to do var float entry price short, and then do an NA for that as well. So it just basically, creates a slot in memory for these two variables. And if we haven't added a trade, then it stays empty, essentially. Okay. So you may ask, like, how do we actually capture the actual price of the entry? Well, there are functions already built into Pinescript that allow you to find out what the current position size and average price size of that position is. So I think we want to do it after. Actually, we don't have to. I'm going to do it for just to be safe after this, after the entry or potential entry. Just to be safe, because I was going to set the variable above this area where we actually enter if we need to enter a trade, but I want to do it after a potential entrance into a long or a short. So I'm going to do it like right after here. So entry price long, let's copy that and bring it down here. And we do colon equal because, so the colon equal essentially means that we're going to grab the current value and then assign a value. Not like overriding what is there. It's basically like picking up from where it left off, because if we just did equal, it will pretty much override the entry price every time. So we don't want to do that. We want to have a colon equal, which basically like allows you to store and keep in your memory where you are every tick. That's a big one that you got to remember if you're doing this stuff. You got to have your variables that hold an amount or value over the span of the actual script. So that's what the dot, the colon equal will do for you. So we want to do something like, let's see, strategy dot, I think it's position. So basically we want to say so this is a little bit advanced here what I'm about to do, but I'm basically assigning an if statement within referencing or assigning the value, right? It's all, I'm kind of condensing it. So it's going to be basically entry pricing or entry price long. Oops, didn't mean to have that extra equal. Entry price long. So if strategy dot position size, okay, greater than or equal to 0. Now you may ask, why 0? Well, in Pinescript, if the position size is 0 or greater, that means you're in a long position. If the position size is -1 or lower, that means you're in a short. So like, for example, if when we ran this, we had 2 longs open, the strategy position size would be 1, or actually 2. It would be 2. Actually, it might be 1. It'll be 1 because 0 is 1, essentially 1 trade, and then 1 is would constitute 2 trades. So I'm putting this question mark here because that's how you do the if statement within a variable. It's like a shorthand way of doing it. So it's basically saying if, on the left side of the question mark, if position size 0 or greater, meaning we're in a long, then we're going to store the value for entry price long. We're going to store it as whatever that price is. Strategy position average price. And then we do a colon NA. So what does that mean? Basically, this is what this means. If strategy position size is long, I mean, we're in a long trade. If that's true, then make this variable here this price. Colon, if not true, then we keep it NA, meaning no amount in that price stored on that variable up here. All right. So we can do the same thing for entry price short. Strategy dot position size less than or equal to 0. That means if we're in any short, then position size average price is that. Got to add the strategy to it. And if that's not true, then we leave it blank. To save. All right, we got that saved now. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Large order block at 83K. Let's take a look at that real quick. I don't follow order blocks, but they are good to know for sure. Real good to know about. Yeah, we're running into resistance, man. To the upside. This is on the 13-minute. All right, so we've got our entry price for any long trade stored in this variable, and we got our short entry prices stored in this variable here. Entry price short, entry price long. So when it comes through and actually places a long trade, it's going to store the price at which that long trade was entered right here in this variable right here. Now, there are some things that we want to do in addition to that, like clearing. We want to clear this variable if we go short, right? Because we're toggling. If we were long, then we end up going short. And we're going to want to clear this variable on the previous long trade so that we can update it for the next trade, right? The next long trade. But we'll get to all that. We'll get to all that. Let's just have the and one way we can visually show this is to plot it. We can plot this line so you can see it on the chart. And I can show you what I'm talking about here. Show you real quick. Let's see here. So here I'm gonna copy my my code from here and explain it. So basically, let's do this. So change that to that. And here's what we're going to do. So entry price long, right? We're going to plot that on the chart. A green line. Now, in order for this to show, I think it's going to show the latest one. If I do it this way, it won't show each one because we haven't erased or reset the entry price long, which we'll do. Entry price let's see how this looks. I'm gonna update on chart. Yeah. Yeah, okay. thought we had more than that one, but I guess not. Oh, I'm on a. All right, let me come out here. All right, so I'm basically plotting where the entry price for this long is. You see how that works? You can visually see it, right? We can do that for our shorts as well, or at least our last short. And again, I'm going to show you how you would reset this every time. So let's update this. I did not mean to hit save. Let's update this right here on the chart down there. All right, so you got the long. It's showing you where the long entry was, and then we should entry short. Where's our last entry on our short? It's right here, but it's not showing it because I think we want to do back one, if I'm not mistaken. Or we might have to okay, the plot lines are titled differently, so that's not the problem. Let's see. I can't remember. So entry price short, strategy position, average price equal. Oh, nope, I made a mistake here. I think it can't be equal to 0 because that would be the same as a long. So that's why we're having that problem. It can't be both. That would mean a long trade or less, but that doesn't make sense. So I think it has to be for shorts, it has to be less than 0, if I'm not mistaken. Or less than, is it less than 1? Let me look at this. It should show me. I see what I did wrong here, guys. So this is supposed to be, so if the value is greater than 0, the market position long. If it's okay, so no, we gotta fix this. I did something wrong here. So position size. I had average short price here. That's wrong. So now we should be straight. It should say strategy dot position size less than 0. That's a short. Strategy position size greater than 0. That's a long. Update chart. Round and drop. There you go. So it's showing the latest one. We'll get to how we plot the previous one. Oh, it's showing the previous ones as well. I take that back. Let's get rid of all these drawings so you can kind of really see what's going on. All right, so these are your visuals now. We have for Bloodalytic moons. I'm just giving you the entry point so you can visually see what's going on. long, short, long, short. So here's a prime example. So we went short, right? But look how far, look how much the market moved to the upside before we went long. That would have been a 30. You would have blown your account out if you would have been short there and waited for the next moon cycle. You would have been assed out. You would have been assed out right there. Oh, my bad, bro. Thank you. Great. Thank you. Let me clear that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, bro. I didn't even realize it, but I'm just showing you. If we just use moon phases as a buy and sell signal, it doesn't work in real life. It does not work because of scenarios like this. You would have taken a 30% loss on that trade right there. Insane. Anyway, we got John Hill in the building. No, I don't play spades. Nope. Bull divergence forming on the daily. That takes way too many days later to know if that's true or not. That's why I don't use those bullish. I know that's your thing. That's why I don't use those, because they lag, man. Way too laggard. All right. So I just wanted to show you visually where the entry points were for each of these trades, longs and shorts. Hopefully you can see my code now. I took the comment off. And I should be able to zoom in for you too. There we go. That should be better. I usually like to group them together. So these are the actual entry point variables that we're storing. And these, I'm plotting the entry points here on the chart just for visual aid, just so we can see. What we're going to do in the future, though, we're going to use these variables, these values from each of these variables as a reference point to create like a stop loss, because that's what you want, a stop loss. And that's why I'm building this entry price long and entry price short as a reference for a stop loss. If that makes sense. It should make sense though, right? You got to have a reference point to create a stop loss for each of your longs and short trades. And I guess we can do that now. So let's go ahead and create our long stop longs and our stop shorts. So our stop loss is going to have to be X amount percent below current market price for our long, right? So it should look something like entry price long. So we want to take the entry price long, some price percentage lower. We'll do that. That would be 2% right there, if I'm not mistaken. No, 2% would be just 2. So we would do, just to make it a whole number, because what we're going to do is make this a variable, input variable. So let's do it like this. Let's do how to do an input variable dot input. Okay, input dot. All right, so we want to do var float stop loss dot float. It's great they have these pop-ups. That definitely helps. Default value, we're gonna make that we'll make it 1%. We'll make it 1%. And then we got to give it a, let's see, what are other options? If I can do this, title. So title, we can do, we'll make it stop loss percentage. And then this is a neat one. You can step. So step meaning every time you go up or down, what is it decrement or increment by? It should have a step. I guess not. I thought I was able to do a step. Why isn't that showing up? Okay, there we go. So we're gonna do this makes it percentage. a percentage divided by 100. That puts it into the proper percentage. So entry price times 1 whole minus our stop loss. So this will give us basically entry price minus going down to where our stop loss is, whatever that amount is. If it's 1%, 2%, whatever, that'll be our stop loss price. So this should, if I plot this now, instead of entry price long, if I plot the stop loss, actually let me plot both of them so we can see them. Let's plot both of them. I'm gonna comment out the stop loss short for now. We'll do stop loss for our long price, and we'll change that color to something else. Maybe red. No, we don't want to do red. Let's just do Cameron pink. Yeah, let's do pink. All right, there you go. Stop loss long. So now we should have 2 lines that show up on an entry long on the chart. You should have the green line that's going to show where we actually enter, and then there should be a pink line where the stop loss is. But we want this stop loss to only show while we're in the trade. So how do you do that? So how you do that is we'll have to make this plot a we'll have to make this plot a an if statement. We'll have to wrap it around an if statement. But you can't, I don't think you can wrap a plot around an if statement. You have to do it within the actual plot, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. Maybe not. I don't know. It should. So if let's just plot this and see what happens. Let's see what it looks like. Is it showing up anywhere? Let's see. It's not showing up for some reason. Entry price long. Might have to put it down here too. Yeah, that's okay. Here's the thing. I could keep it up here. I could keep that variable declaration up here. And I think I'm going to. But what you have to do is, because you're declaring it before we reach the actual trade, you gotta do one back. So stop loss, entry price, long, one back. Should fix this. Let's see. Or not. I don't think it fixed it. Okay. Let me just double check something. Maybe I got my. Maybe I have my. No. Nope, it's still not showing up. All right, so let's try this. Let's try to do below. Down here. Let's do this. Great says, do you ever use W and M price action patterns within certain Fibonacci zones? No, I don't. I don't. My guy 52 in the building. 52 is in the building. I think 52 is Bloodalytics Scalp member. How's that working out for you, bro? If you're actually going to trade moon phases out, wait for proper price action in conjunction. M for bearish, W for bullish. Okay. Well, let's what I'm going to do is we'll build on this script. So we'll get it the basics done, right? And then we can build on it. Maybe maybe this will turn into something nice, because let's see. Slick Rich in the house. Yes, we coding it up today, baby. We coding it up. Just need to figure out. So our long stop loss is entry price. Which would be this, if we're actually in one, times 1 stop loss. Oh, but I need to divide this by, wait, I think I'm missing some algebra here, ladies and gents. I'm missing something here. Let's see. So if I want to do stop loss, I think I need to divide by the actual price too, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. So VAR float, long stop loss, entry price times one hole. Am I plotting this correctly? I got the plot. That's right. Entry short. I should be able to show here on the screen the layers. Let's see here. All right, so here we got the, it's not even showing, it's not even plotting it in the window, in the data window for some reason. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, okay, wait. So equal entry price. Dun. Let me just back up and just do, where's my stop loss? Okay, that's my stop loss. Let me take this 100 divided by 100 out for a second. Just see what we get. Just trying to see where this is not showing. Still not showing all the variables. Close this. Let's do this. 0.02, right? So this, I'm gonna hard code this in here so we can work backwards. So 0.02 of entry price will be 20%. So we're gonna do point 0.02, which would be 2%, right? Of the entry price. Minus actually like this. This is what we're gonna do. Entry price minus entry price times 0.02. So basically it should be 2% lower. Let's see if that works. I just want to hard code this in here real quick. Let's hard code this in here and then we'll work backwards from there. Why the hell is this not plotting? This is crazy. There we go. I had it as a var. Okay. Round of applause. Finally, I thought about it. I'm like, that this one can't be a var. It just needs to be a hard coded in number. All right. There we go. As you guys can see, the stop loss line is now in there, 2% lower than where we currently are. All right. So now I can take this out, this 2%, and replace it with the variable I had up here. Divided by 100. All right, there we go. This should work. All right, cool. Divided by 1,000. All right, so all right, now we got everything locked and loaded. We got everything locked and loaded. Who else we got in the building? Hyven is in the house, baby. Let's go. We coding today, baby. We making the Bloodalytic moon signal. So people think the moon, trading the moon works, but we're gonna improve on what. Go back and watch earlier. You'll understand why just trading the moon will not work, because I gave a scenario here. I'll go back to it right now. But look at this. This was a scenario where if you would have traded the moon, you would have blown your account right here. So we enter the trade on a waning. I think this is a waning moon. The blue one is supposed to be for, like, you know, the market's supposed to go down, right? So you would have entered this trade and you would have gone long. You would have waited to go long on the next moon cycle, which would have been 30% higher than where you were. Any leverage, even a 2x leverage, would have blown your account. So we're going to We're modifying this, bro, and we're gonna put some Bloodalytics on it to potentially make this a profitable indicator. But we got to build it first. So I'm just going through getting the stop losses together for the trades. So this is our long. I got a plotted green line for where we enter a long trade. I've got a plotted red line for where we entered a short trade. And now I'm just putting the stop loss areas in. We were debugging it, ran into some issues, but I figured it out. And now, I was right. It's supposed to be 100. It's just that I had it at 40, which is 40% lower. So let me update that 100, and then we need to change the percentage to 1% stop loss range. There we go. All right, round of applause. So basically, the pink area is going to be our stop loss. We haven't created the logic yet, but the stop loss logic will be here. So if the price goes below this pink line, then that's our stop loss. Now we need to make one for above the market where we have a short in. So we want to make one above the market. So let's make the above the market one now. We'll put that down here. We'll do short stop loss. So short stop loss, and we want to do an entry point instead of long. Our entry point price variable for short, and we want to do, instead of lower than, we want to do above the market. So our entry price plus so that should work, right? Let's see. Update chart. All right, there you go. Round of applause. So now we have our stop losses for our short at 1%. That's what I have it set at right now. Let's see here. 1% stop loss. That's a lot. Maybe like 5, point. Won't let us go lower than, there we go. 0.5%. That's a 0.5% stop loss. So we got those locked and loaded, ladies and gents. At least visually. Nothing logic-wise has been coded, but we're making some progress. $52 said, most certainly glued to position still. However, I got a digital scalping algo that hits like old Tyson. We eating. Thank you. Appreciate it, bro. Blockchain basement in the house. Hey, what's going on, blockchain basement? Thanks for coming on over. Uh-oh. Paying them taxes. Givers gang in the house. Crypto Billy. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. We're locked and loaded. We're coding live. We're making a moon phase script on TradingView right now, live. We'll probably pick up on this tomorrow, but so far we have got the entries and exits on each of the moon phases. I've plotted basically where we've entered the trade, which is the green line, and the red line is where we've entered a short. The pink line is going to be your stop loss for each of those. So I have it set up currently. The logic isn't there, but at least the visuals are set up. A stop loss of you can change it though. You can, I mean, it's right now at 0.5%. Again, no logic in that. Maybe we'll do that before we get out of here. We'll at least add the logic to the stop losses. Yeah, let's do that. So let's move our plots into their own section, the stop loss plots. Let's make sure that still works as we reorder some things. All right, looks good. So we got our stop loss plots. Let's work on our stop loss actual logic now. So how do we do that? So basically we want to say if the current price, which we'll use close, if close, okay, first we want to say if we're in a long trade, that's the first thing. If we're actually in a long trade, then check to potentially close it if price goes below the pink line, right? How do we know we're in a long trade or not? Moon type equals -1. That's how we know. But you can actually check. We've already created the variable for that logic here. So entry price long, right? So all we got to do is say if entry price long, that means that lets us know that we're in a long trade. So what we want to do is if entry price long, then in Pinescript, oh, it does it automatically. When you do a return, it'll indent. So that means we're in the bracket of or under the if statement for this logic. So if entry price long, that means if we're in an entry, if we're in a long position, then we're going to say we want to do, I'll do less than, not equal. And actually what we want to do is yeah, we'll do close. So close will be the current price. If close less than then we want to actually close the trade. Oops. Want to actually close the trade if we go below that area. So basically you want to call the strategy function again.
Screaming from the D, knowing what to show. Indicators are wrong point. OG since 12, investing in trade, living life like a pro. I'm Rucker, Jerry, it's just blood too. Bad motherfucker in a good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Get that money, gotta keep it creep. That's why crypto blood, twist the toes on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Rice TVX, the Mike's live wire. American Pitbull, real gold buyer. Sound money advocate, rights defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter.
All right, so what we want to do is let's see. Strategy. Go back to that strategy function. Close. The ID is going, it has to match the ID of your entry. So it's got to be buy. That's my ID for my entry, because you can handle multiple, you can have multiple trades open, right? So we're going to ID that one. Comment. I don't have a comment. I guess I could put a comment because it's going to show up on the chart. So we want comment to be and then quantity. We don't have a quantity because we don't know what the quantity is. We'll just do a percent quantity. And we'll just say we want to close the entire trade. Now we're getting a warning here. The condition parameter for if accepts a bull argument to avoid pass a bull value or expression to this parameter. All right, so they want me to do understood. This will work, but we'll just do it their way. So we'll just say if entry price greater than 0. So that means what if we're in a trade, it's got to be a price, right, that we entered it at. So it should be anything above 0. So if it is equal to 0, then we know we're not in a trade. Now there's some more logic we have to put together to handle things as we go through it, but let's just update this on the chart and see what happens. Let's look at our previous long trade. Boom. There we go. There you go, ladies and gents. It worked. So the scenario for this trade was we went long, market turned around, and we end up going below this region. And it closed the trade on the next bar. Now, how you really want to do this most likely is you want to close it in real time as it passes that threshold of your stop loss. Now, the way you do that is in your settings. It's a couple ways. There's a couple ways you can do that. I think in your settings, under properties, after order is filled, I think you can let me see, fill orders on bar close. That's how it would be technically, like this. Now I can program it to where it closes it. Like if we actually run it forward testing, it would not have closed right here. It would have closed literally right where it crossed the threshold, not on the next bar, because we're on the 1 hour. So that could be, you know, you could be waiting like this bar could go all the way down here and you wouldn't close until the next bar open. So it's little stuff like that. You gotta, you know, as you get into coding and stuff in Pinescript, you'll figure out how to manage that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we got the code together for our stop loss on our longs. Let's go ahead and get the stop loss for our shorts together. I'm just going to copy this. Oops. Change this to entry price short. And instead of, because our stop loss is going to be above the market where we are, it's going to be close above short stop loss. Strategy close. We don't want to close up. We won't be in a long, so we want to close our short, which is a sell. That's what we labeled it as when we entered the short. So we got to keep that consistent. That has to be the same thing. We'll label it close short 100%. Update chart. There you go. All right, so that's pretty much it for today. We have, just to conclude, we've taken the trading view moon phases indicator and modified it to actually place a trade on each of these moon phases. We've also added a stop loss for each of those trades, short and long, so far. Next time we do this, we'll start working with take profits. Get some take profit logic in here, so we won't be just like this one right here. This is a bad trade because we were up. Instead of waiting for the next moon phase, you might want to. We were up 5% off that move. That's crazy, and we just watched it all dwindle away. No, we can't have that. So we got to take profits on the way up. Here, this one wasn't as bad, but yeah, you don't want to risk holding on to something for damn near like this scenario right here. We would have been holding on to this long for 3 days. No, we don't want that. Just to watch it all go away. All right, ladies and gents. Yeah, we programming live, man. We got everyone in the stream today. That's right, baby. Let's go. Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, I'm hacking it together right now. I haven't properly done functions or anything like that. I can refactor later. I'm just trying to get everything in there, and then we can refactor it later into proper functions and all that good stuff. We just getting the code in there first. Get it to work. I'm just getting it to work. All right, so that's what we've done today. Thank you for tuning in. And if you are interested in scripts like this that actually do work, you can always visit and sign up for the 1-minute scalping system provided for Bitcoin and Ethereum by Bloodalytics. Created a proprietary scalping system on the 1 minute. As you guys can see here, I was not able to trade today because I was coding. So I have to come back tomorrow or something well, tomorrow's Saturday. So we won't be doing it tomorrow. I don't think we'll be trading tomorrow. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like button. We'll continue this next week. Actually, we could continue the coding over the weekend if I'm doing a stream. We'll see. But for sure, next week we'll continue to code. I streamed this morning, the Blood Moon live about 2 o'clock this morning. And we did take a trade, 2 trades on Bitcoin and Ethereum. We scalped. Took this trade right here on Bitcoin this morning, and kind of sold out and took the final profits when I went live today at 11:30ish. So that was a good trade. Basically, it was basically this trade right here that I took earlier in the morning. All right, that's it, ladies and gents. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, share this stream, and I will catch y'all later. Holla. Go check out DGen Alpha. We got Sin City Crypto coming up at 2 o'clock, actually 2 p.m. Go check out Sin City. Actually, I should redirect to them right now. Let's do that. Let's redirect to Sin City before I leave. Sin City Crypto. My guys. Yep. Upcoming. Bada boom, bada bang. All right, guys, you'll be redirected to Sin City Crypto right after this stream. I'm out of here, people. Holla.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Okay.